Hi friends, and welcome to Ouroboros Tarot. Today's pick a card reading is looking into what it is that the person on your mind regrets the most about how they showed up in this connection, what it is that they regret the most. And I have 4 piles for you guys to choose from today: pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Go ahead and pause this video if you need to. Take as much time as you need to find the pile that sits right with your energy as well as with your person's, and I will see you in a minute. Hi pile 1. Today we are looking into what it is that the person on your mind is regretting the most when it comes to this connection. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to look at the current energies going on between the two of you. So you'll know whether or not this is your pile, and I'll have a better understanding of what is actually going on. So for the first portion of this reading, pile 1, we have number 13, Fellowship. We have the Despicable Face, number 31, Cornucopia, number 37, Never Ending Story, and we have Quest. Okay, so pile 1, what I would say about what's currently going on between the two of you, what's showing up strongest energetically, is that this seems to be a connection that has recently, it feels recently had some sort of truths come out, and I don't necessarily feel as though these are betrayals, like there was deception. There could be an element of deception here, but it doesn't feel like this was like a third party type of energy. It feels more so like one person in this connection was not being forthright or was not being open and honest about who it is that they are, perhaps, or about how it is that they feel. There was an element of shame here that I'm picking up on, that eventually came to the light. And it may not even be that whoever it was that was kind of hiding things felt shame. It could also be that this person was aware of the potential reaction that there might be to whatever this truth was. But it feels like there's a misunderstanding, or there is a realization even of this misunderstanding, of perhaps not necessarily making the right judgment call, or perhaps putting judgment on something that there shouldn't be judgment on. But I get the feeling that both of you have been left somewhat confused by this. And like there's another random message here that's pretty specific, and I don't think that it will resonate for all of you, but there is this message here of perhaps this connection either still being in contact because of like a group setting that the two of you are a part of, like a communal setting, whether or not this is like a religious one or a spiritual one or just a social setting. There seems to be like a connection that's still current in that regard, in like a communal way. Or this is something that potentially is not just between the two of you, but it's become other people's business for whatever reason. But it seems like one or both of you is really weighing either the pros and the cons, or weighing the rights and the wrongs, weighing the different outcomes or the different options. And it seems like this has kind of been beaten to death almost. And it feels like for a lot of you, or for this person, there's definitely like an understanding that there's still a lot of potential for this connection if the two of you can get past this obstacle that's come in your way. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So if that resonates, let's go ahead and look into what it is that this person regrets. Okay, I'm going to put that there because this also is a part of that question. Okay. What is it that pile one's person regrets the most, Spirit? What is it that pile one's person regrets the most? Okay, so we have the Four of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, the Page of Wands. What is it that pile one's person regrets? We have the Nine of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. Why is the Four of Pentacles here? We have two. We have the Ten of Pentacles and the High Priestess. Why is the Queen of Swords here? We have the Queen of Wands. Why is the Page of Wands here? The Seven of Wands. Why is the Nine of Pentacles here? We have the Ace of Swords. And why is the Eight of Wands here? The Devil. And on the back of the deck, we have the Ten of Cups. We also have the Healer, with the light attributes being passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing. And the shadow attributes are taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for one's self. I feel as though this person really has come to some sort of understanding or conclusion where they are realizing that they should have maybe, rather than acting on their own defensiveness or their own really big feelings, like there's this really big regret here of having wished that they would have taken a moment to stop and explore why it is that they're feeling this way, why it is that they feel so defensive, why it is that they feel so confrontational even. It feels like this person was impulsive, and this isn't in, like, there's two different feelings of impulsiveness that I'm picking up on. One of them is that in certain ways, this person didn't act and was really, really reserved in areas in which their fears were telling them it's not safe to do X, Y, and Z. Like, it feels like intuitively they knew that there was something very, very special and there was something potentially long lasting, like there was a potential lifelong connection, a potential even perhaps marriage for some of you. There was a potential happy ending here that this person is acknowledging they intuitively felt was the truth, and yet they chose not to act on bravery. They chose to really shut off themselves to those really hopeful feelings, those intuitively positive feelings that they were having. And in other ways, they were impulsive. Oh my gosh, Lily. In other ways, they were impulsive in the sense that they were again, it was acting on their fears, but rather than being reserved when they should have been and curious about what those fears were telling them, they chose to, what it feels like is, for a lot of you, actively make the decision, impulsively make the decision to just sever this connection in some sort of way. It feels like they chose this Nine of Pentacles, this solitary energy of like being alone with themselves and what it is that they can offer themselves, rather than this Ten of Pentacles energy. It seems like they severed the connection of what could have been, and it's something that was very much so impulsive. I do get the feeling that like either they regret having communicated in some sort of way certain things that perhaps they themselves were hiding. But I also get the feeling that for some of you, this is avoidant energy. Like this is the feeling of somebody regretting running away when things got a little bit dark, or when things got a little bit heavy, when things got a little serious in terms of having to acknowledge and recognize that we're all human and we all have light and shadow. None of us are perfect. There's like an avoidance here of discomfort that they're really, really regretting having taken. Like with the light attribute of the healer being the ability to transform pain into healing, it feels as though they failed in that regard. I want to get one more card to clarify this Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands. Why is the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands here, Spirit? We have the Two of Cups. I get the feeling that this person was unable to find peace or find a way in which to merge their logical side and their passionate side. It feels like this person maybe had been thinking in a black and white way, or making decisions in terms of black and white thoughts, rather than something that was more blended or more all-encompassing. And I feel like they chose logic over what it is that their heart and their soul was telling them. Like, they chose a route that was based on a very basic, minimal, like there wasn't a lot of complexity to this, but like a very simple form of like morality, like judgment, rather than, that's a very strange message. And I'm trying to understand it, but it just feels like there was genuine love here, and they let their ego get the better of them. They let their ego win, is what I would say. Let's go ahead and get some channeled messages and see what comes through. What is it that pile one's person wants to say to pile one? You've been thinking about me because I've been thinking about you. We're connecting. Just want to make sure. Okay, and then we also have, sorry, I just want to make sure I don't flip over ones that, or I flip back over ones that need to be flipped over. So we have baggage. I'm sweeping away toxicity to make room for what's truly important. What is it that, oh, okay. Mask. Honestly, I pretend to be someone I'm not because being vulnerable feels uncomfortable. This is the same energy as the despicable face. It's this energy of hiding something due to shame or due to feeling fear of that vulnerability, fear of being seen for who you truly are. And then we have, I miss you. And then on the back of the deck, karma. My life is falling apart and I'm struggling. Yeah, if the energy that I was picking up on resonates for you in terms of avoidance, of avoiding things that are discomforting or uncomfortable, this is something that is very quickly catching up with them. Let's go ahead really quickly and get you guys some advice. What advice is there for pile one? We have perseverance. It seems you're on a massive journey right now, and this card has arrived to remind you that you will reach the other side. The mountain you're climbing is huge and formidable, but so is your ability to climb it. You don't need to enjoy it, you just need to tackle it. Complain if it makes the job easier, blow off steam. You think mountain climbers get to the top of Everest on inspirational quotes? No way. They're grunting and crying and cursing like freaking pirates. That just doesn't sell a lot of posters. So to me, like, the biggest message that's coming through is this message of your guides wanting to remind you that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. When it comes to the heaviness that you may be feeling in regards to this connection. Okay, and then we have connection. I'm connected to the multitudes and I can access their support at any time. Even when a stranger offers a sense of comfort when they smile at me or make a dumb comment about the weather, everyone is waiting to connect. All I need to do is open myself up and pay attention. Note to self, work on witty banter about weather-related stuff. So, obviously take that as it resonates for you, but the key takeaway for me is that however it resonates for you, it is important to find that community, whether it is connecting with this person in some sort of way, if that's something that sits right with you, or whether or not this is connecting with those around you that you feel safe and close and comfortable with. Or perhaps this is even a gentle reminder that even in separation, there still is connection here. Take them how they resonate for you, but that's what I'm seeing. Thank you guys so much for watching today, pile one. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. If you'd like to join the channel membership, you can do so in the description box of this video. You'll have access to all of the extended readings thus far. And hopefully, pile one, I will see you in another video soon. Bye. Hi, pile two. So today's reading is looking into what it is that the person on your mind regrets the most when it comes to the connection between the two of you. So these oracles here are going to give us insight into what the current energy is between you and your person, just so you'll know whether or not this is your pile, and I will understand more of what is going on between the two of you currently. And for that, we have number 47, oppression. We have number 25, round and round. We have sparks of light. Number 71, body as a house, renewal. And we have number 38, to be fair. Okay. So I feel very strongly, pile 2, as though this is a connection that probably has had its ups and downs. It's probably been an on again, off again connection, or one that you probably feel as though took a very long time to kind of learn whatever lessons you were not quite grasping or not wanting to see, whatever resonates for you. It feels like this connection was one that was very cyclical, and it feels as though there's a new cycle starting up, but something has definitely changed. I feel as though the two of you have probably been in no contact for a while, or this connection has come to a close, and there has recently come a point in which there is contact again. There's a spark that's being initiated again in some way, shape, or form. But it feels different. It feels as though this connection was probably one that was very, very heavy, very hurtful, very draining, very challenging. It almost feels like there was devastation here in many ways, like emotional devastation. And it feels like even if this connection has come to a close and that's it, there's no renewal of this connection, there's a new cycle starting up for the both of you, because the two of you have kind of broken some sort of karmic tie, broken some sort of karmic cycle, and now there's this renewed sense of hope. There's this renewal going on in the sense of the both of you coming back to yourselves, the both of you becoming grounded again within yourselves. The overall energy that I'm picking up on is that currently what's going on between the two of you has more so to do with the two of you focusing on yourselves individually rather than focusing on this connection. But it's being done so in a way that is highly evolutionary. Like it's very positive. I get the feeling that you definitely feel hopeful for the future, whether or not this is with this person or this has to do with your own relationship with self. That's something totally different, and I think it will resonate for each person differently. But it does feel as though clarity has been gained when it comes to this situation. And not only has there been clarity, but there's also stability here within oneself to make the appropriate decision based on what it is that you're seeing, rather than what it is that certain wounds might be communicating with you about. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So if that resonates, if that sounds like kind of the current energy that's going on between you and your person, let's go ahead and get into the second portion of this reading, which is tarot. We're going to be looking into what it is that this person regrets the most. I also have one oracle for this question that we will go ahead and put right here. And we'll also pull channeled messages after this. Okay, Spirit, what is it that pile 2's person regrets the most? Okay, we have the 4 of Swords, the 9 of Cups, the 8 of Swords, we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Tower. Why is the 4 of Swords here? We have the 5 of Pentacles. Why is the 9 of Cups here? We have the 9 of Pentacles. Why is the 8 of Swords here, Spirit? We have the King of Cups. Why is the Wheel of Fortune here? We have the 5 of Cups. And why is the Tower here, Spirit? We have the Ace of Wands. And on the back of the deck, we have the Ace of Swords. Interesting. And then we also have, let me line these up real quick. But we also have the Father. The light attributes are talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. And the shadow attributes are dictatorial control, abuse of authority. Okay, so pile 2. What is it that your person regrets the most? I almost feel like the first message that's coming through very strongly is that this person regrets not having fought for you. I get the feeling that this person felt overwhelmed and did not react in an appropriate way to that overwhelmed feeling. And maybe it was appropriate in the sense of it was a reaction to an emotional state that was pretty valid for them. But it wasn't appropriate in the sense of them reaching the conclusion or finding resolution in the way in which they would have liked to see this connection reach. It seems like this person checked out. Oh my God. This person checked out and I get the feeling that at the time they felt as though they were incapable in some sort of way. Like, I don't feel as though they felt like they had the skills or the tools needed in order to show up in this King of Cups energy, to show up as someone who was immature, who was emotionally available or emotionally open to being able to listen to what it is that you needed to share with them. It seems like they're really, really regretting having turned their back on you when you more than likely really needed them. And I see it with the Father here. I see this as somebody who regrets not having shown up in these light attributes, regrets not having been a light within this connection, but was rather someone who potentially brought more darkness. I'm gonna clarify a few things. I think this person feels as though I think that they're starting to see themselves as somebody who is a pretty selfish person. And I think that perhaps in the past, for some of you, your person was under the impression that the way in which they were acting was in the name of self-love. But there's a difference between making sure that you're okay and taking care of yourself and completely going ice cold on another person without an ounce of compassion. And I think that they felt as though, or they feel now currently as though the things that they wanted out of life in the past were not the right things to try to pursue. They didn't have their priorities right, their priorities straight. Can you please clarify the Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Cups, Spirit? Why is the Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Cups here? Okay, we have the Star. Why is the Tower and the Ace of Wands here? This person recognizes that things did not have to get to the extremes that they did, that they had the ability to kind of soothe things or calm things down or provide relief in some sort of way so that it wasn't this devastating feeling that I was talking about. They're recognizing that things didn't have to come to such an extreme, that perhaps they, regardless of how you showed up in this connection, we're looking at what they regret about them, like what they regret about this connection. And it feels like they are regretting not having put up a white flag when they could have, when they should have. And again, it feels like this energy here and then this energy here is very much so the same. I mean, we have two fives, the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. This is definitely conflict. This is what this is indicating. And for these two cards in particular, with the Five of Cups being here and the Wheel of Fortune, it feels like in the past, they really took on a role of feeling powerless or of only focusing on the negative in this connection and not recognizing that they too have the ability to make changes, or they too have the ability to change their perspective. And instead, they took an approach of not wanting to take responsibility at all and placing blame on perhaps you, or placing blame on perhaps the circumstances that life had given them outside of this connection. And I get the feeling that with this Ace of Swords here, there's two different messages coming through. There's this desire now. There's this understanding that communication could have been clearer. They could have communicated more clearly. They could have clarified things. But there's also this feeling of regret for perhaps having stuck the sword in too quickly. Like there was impulsiveness here when it came to cutting ties. Let's go ahead and get you guys some advice. Like another thing that's coming through here is just like a my way or the highway type of person. Like, this is what I want. I'm not willing to negotiate. I'm not willing to compromise. There was like an uncompromising energy here. Okay, what is it that Pile 2's person would like to say to Pile 2? We have worry. I'm not sure if this is a good idea. I'm overthinking everything. What will everyone else think? I won't stay for very long. I'm sorry. We have, I want to get away from the burdens I have to deal with, but I'm stuck right now. And I'm ready to take a leap of faith and risk it all for you. And then on the back of the deck, we have, I want to see you. I feel like some of these messages are referring to the past, like this person very well may have ghosted you. Is like, I feel like there's acknowledgement here for having cut ties very quickly, or having, or there's simply an apology here for the past, for not having stayed when they should have. And I feel like this obligations card is definitely a card of the past too for a lot of you, where there's this same message coming through that I picked up on with the tarot, which is that this person regrets having not taken responsibility or not taken control over the decisions that they make over their life, and instead put blame on either you or on other circumstances in their lives. It's kind of the same energy that I'm getting with this obligations card. I feel like there is a lot of concern or a lot of realizing, oh my gosh, there's a lot of realizations happening here where this person is finally understanding the consequences of what they did, or the consequences of this connection as a whole. There's been a wake up of some kind. Let's go ahead and get you guys some advice before we close this out. What advice is there for pile 2 when it comes to this connection? Okay, we have connection. This came out for pile 1 as well. I'm connected to the multitudes and I can access their support at any time. Even a stranger offers a sense of comfort when they smile at me or make a dumb comment about the weather. Everyone is waiting to connect. All I need to do is open myself up and pay attention. Note to self, work on witty banter about weather-related stuff. What advice is there for pile 2 when it comes to this connection? And we have authenticity. Authenticity is the name of the game. Whatever comes up, I will feel it. Whatever needs to be said, I will say it. Whoever doesn't get it doesn't have to get it, but at least they know it because I've said it, and that's way better than leaving a passive-aggressive note about it. It feels like what these cards are indicating is that if there's anything that you feel as though you have not been acknowledging within yourself when it comes to either moving on from this connection or when it comes to just processing the feelings that are involved with having been in this connection, it feels like your guides are really encouraging you to honor whatever that is, rather than avoid it. Obviously, take these as they resonate for you first and foremost. Another thing that's coming through for me is friendship, or just connections in general. It could be if you're wanting to connect again and you feel as though this cycle has come to a close and things could actually be different. It feels like there's a message here of saying that connecting with this person is something that you might want to listen to if it's authentic to you currently. But it could also be, this could also be talking about even reconnecting with this person in order to find closure. There's lots of ways to interpret this, but it does feel important to connect with people who are important to you or who care about you, who bring you comfort for the time being, and to continue staying grounded within yourself, especially if there was this devastation, like this devastating energy that I was picking up on, that happened to you personally. But that's what I'm seeing for you guys today, pile 2. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that I will have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye. Hi pile 3, and welcome to your reading. We are looking into what it is that the person on your mind regrets the most. And we are first going to look at what the current energy is that's going on between the two of you, just so I'll have a better understanding of what's happening and you will know whether or not this is actually your pile. We'll pull tarot. I have one more oracle to go along with the tarot. We'll get channeled messages, and then lastly we will pull advice. So when it comes to the current energies, pile 3, we have number 57, gentle penetration. We have Pluto. Number 35, left out with the wolves. We have number 19, flexible. We have rejection. And we have discovery. Okay, so what is the current energy between the two of you? I feel like this could be two things. Either this connection currently is one that is still current, like the two of you are still in contact, or this connection has come to a close, and it came to a close because one of you felt as though you weren't receiving everything it is that you deserve in a connection. This connection feels very much so like one that is based on attachment wounds of some kind. There's a lot of sexual energy here, but it's lacking in terms of emotional connection. And we have a car alarm going off. It feels like there's red flags. This connection has a lot of red flags. It feels left out with the wolves and rejection here and flexible. It feels like one of you either is currently being rejected in the sense of perhaps the other person only wants something casual or only wants something like a friends with benefits kind of thing, or when this connection was current, when this connection was in contact, one of you felt as though you were kind of betraying yourself, or were not. One of you felt as though this connection wasn't truly in alignment with what it is that you deserve or what it is that you want. I get the feeling that one of you realized or is currently realizing that there are more feelings here for one another, or that there is more to be desired when it comes to how deep you want to go emotionally with someone. But it definitely does not feel as though the two of you are in alignment, and it feels more so like this is a connection that is very rigid in terms of how far it will go. So if that resonates, let's go ahead and look into what they regret the most. It feels, these cards are telling me that like this connection for at least one of you brings about more turmoil than it does joy. Okay. Let's go ahead and get some tarot. It could even be with that discovery card that like either you or this person discovered just how much it is that you have to offer, discovered just how big and beautiful your heart truly is and what it is that you are worthy of. And with that has come the rejection of wanting something casual. Okay, what is it that pile 3's person regrets the most? Okay, so we have Justice, the Knight of Wands, the Two of Cups, the Ten of Cups. What is it that they regret the most? And we have the Two of Wands. Why is Justice here? Why is Justice here? We have the Queen of Cups. Why is the Knight of Wands here? We have the Chariot. Why is the Two of Cups here? We have the Three of Swords and the Ten of Cups. We have the Knight of Cups. And why is the Two of Wands here? We have the Four of Cups. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Tower. We also have the hero/heroine. The light attribute is a passion for a journey of personal empowerment. And the shadow attribute is escapism and a false sense of heroism. Okay. I would say that if it was you who, there's two different messages coming through, and I think that The message that is here could be flip-flopped depending on what side of this connection you are on or were on. But if this was a connection where they felt as though they wanted more, and you didn't, I get the feeling that they really regret having allowed themselves to feel this deeply for you. But if that's not the case, if it's vice versa, it feels like this person really regrets having hurt you. Like there's acknowledgement here. There's very strong acknowledgement here that this person has hurt you, that this person has kind of blown out the flame in a sense when it comes to what it is that you were hoping for. I feel very much so like this person is seeing themselves in the shadow attribute of this hero/heroine card, where the word escapism is the first word that's on this card for the shadow attribute, and it feels like this person may very well be someone who is avoidantly attached, in the sense of they may come on very strongly, which is something that I'm seeing here with the Knight of Wands and the Chariot. It feels like this is something where they perhaps even pursued this. Like they were the ones who made the first move, or they were the ones who showed up in a very passionate way, showed up in a way in which they were acting as though they were very excited to see what the future held. But it feels like once things got serious, they fell back into their avoidant tendencies. And it's showing up here because it's something that they regret. Why is the Ten of Cups and the Knight of Cups here? Yeah, we have the Seven of Swords. They portrayed themselves as somebody who was like this knight in shining armor, this like hero. And it was dishonest. And it may very well be that like in the past, this person hasn't necessarily connected with someone where they connected with them and who they were showing up as. But when it comes to acknowledging the harm that they caused, it's here. Why is Justice and the Queen of Cups here? We have the Five of Wands and the Moon. They didn't This person is someone who showed up very inauthentically, and it's unfair. They're acknowledging that there is an unfairness here when it comes to the level of turmoil, the level of chaos, the level of destruction that they brought along with them. Simply because they have not necessarily dealt with their own wounds. Like there's regret here in the sense of like them. It's like if you're that emotionally unavailable, why are you pursuing something? And that's kind of what's coming through here. It's like there's this there's this aha moment that this person has had recently where they regret making a decision to show up in life, or like they regret making the, like, setting an intention to go out and connect with people when they had no intention of taking the cups that would be offered once they connected. I think that this connection for them in particular held up a mirror to how much harm they are capable of when they refuse to look at their own wounds. Let's go ahead and get channeled messages. What is it that pile three's person regrets the most? What is it that they want to say? That's too many. What is it that pile three's person wants to say? I should have, I could have, I would have. Regrets. I'm just going to keep going. Let's see. I wish I could. ... I feel like I've lost you and I'm not coping well with it. What do they want to say to pile three? And you've been thinking about me because I've been thinking about you. We're connecting. And on the back of the deck, I'm sweeping away toxicity to make room for what's truly important. I feel like with regrets here, I should have, I could have, I would have, there's this message coming through of them acknowledging what it is that they've done. But at the same time, with fantasy here, it's like they're replaying things over and over and over again. But they're simply not, I mean, maybe they're kind of working towards it with this card here. I'm sweeping away toxicity, but there's just another cycle repeating itself of them becoming avoidant. But I would say that you're on this person's mind. But if this is a connection where the two of you are still in contact, where the two of you are still in that current energy of what I picked up on in the beginning of this reading, it would seem to me as though this person is incapable of taking things to a deeper level for the time being, even if this is something that they regret. Let's go ahead and get you guys some advice. This is very heavy. I'm very sorry, pile three. What advice is there for pile three? Self-love, yeah. And don't take it personally. So we'll read Don't Take It Personally. If someone starts to speak unkindly to me, I'll remember that they've got something going on that has nothing to do with me. Like maybe they just pooped their pants. Yeah, that's probably it. There's this message that's coming through here for me of this person is just full of shit. But I think like the key takeaway here that your guides are really kind of honing in on is this message of reminding you that this person has a lot of shit that they are going through, and it's not an excuse for any sort of like mistreatment or anything like that. That's never what I'm ever going to be talking about, is like things like that. What I am saying though is that it's important to remind yourself that this isn't a rejection of you. This is a rejection of themselves and their own inability to allow themselves to be seen. either, I mean, like not even just by you, but by them on their own, to see themselves. They're rejecting themselves is what this is. And then with self-love here, we have, I openly embrace a feeling of self-love, the PG kind. I love myself because I understand myself. I love myself as the most committed partner I will ever have. I show myself love any way that I can, and when I screw up, I remember to be sweet and gentle with myself. If I'm not, I'm going to make myself sleep on the couch. Got that, self? There's this like another reminder of, it's like this reminder of just how much more evolved you are currently than this person. Where, like I was saying with this card, there's this person's inability to even see themselves, to even love themselves in a way. Like they seem like a very shut off person. Whereas with you, you are capable of those, you are capable of opening up and being vulnerable. And it's a reminder to not reject yourself, even if you feel rejected currently. But that's what I'm seeing for you guys today, pile 3. Please know that I am sending you so many hugs, so much love. You deserve nothing but the best. You deserve everything it is that you want. And hopefully I will see you in another video that perhaps is more lighthearted soon. Bye. Hi, pile 4. So today we are looking into what it is that the person on your mind regrets the most when it comes to the connection that the two of you share. So we are first going to look into your oracles, and these oracles are going to show us what the current energy is between the two of you. So I'll know more about what is currently going on between the two of you, and you will know whether or not this is actually your pile. But for that, pile 4, we have number 5, patience. We also have alchemical wedding. We have number 59, gifts from the past, facade, and loyal heart. This is going to be pulled out with the tarot when we look into what it is that they regret the most. So I'll go ahead and put that to the side for now. We're also going to get channeled messages, and then we will get advice. I'm sorry if you can hear Joplin crunching on a treat I just gave her, but that's what that noise is. Okay, so what is currently going on between the two of you? What's the current energy? This connection feels like it's one that has currently come back to life. New life has been breathed into this connection. This is something where it could have been a long time of the two of you not being together, or it could be that there was a break, like a very short period of time in which the two of you kind of stopped contact or withdrew your energy from each other. However, it doesn't feel like that's the case anymore. It feels like the two of you have returned to one another with a fresh perspective, with the realization of what it is that is your truth, what it is that feels the most right and the most true for you. And it feels like the two of you are in alignment with whatever it is that whatever it is that's going on emotionally within this connection. It could very well be that during this period of separation, or during this break of some kind, the two of you, regardless of how long this separation was, the two of you were both very loyal in one way or another to one another. But it does feel as though if in the past things were rocky, it doesn't feel like that is where this connection is headed in the future, at least according to the two of you. It does seem like the two of you are taking things very slowly, allowing things to happen at their own pace. But this comes with the knowledge that there's something very, very special here. And because of that, like, there's something very special here, and I would almost say this is like divinely being guided, and there seems to be a level of trust here in terms of allowing things to unfold naturally because of that deep knowing. But yeah, it feels like perhaps this connection may have even been one where it felt as though this was lost entirely, and now it's been found. But yeah, so if that resonates, let's go ahead and get into tarot. So we are going to be asking what it is that the person on your mind regrets the most. What is their biggest regret when it comes to this connection? What is it that pile 4's person regrets the most? Okay, so we have the 2 of Wands, the Queen of Swords. What is it that they regret the most? We have the 10 of Swords, the 9 of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. Okay. And why is the 2 of Wands here? We have the Magician. Why is the Queen of Swords here? We have the 3 of Swords. Why is the 10 of Swords here? We have the Knight of Wands and the Hierophant. Why is the 9 of Wands here? We have Judgment. And why is the Ace of Wands here? We have the 7 of Pentacles. And on the back of the deck, we have the 7 of Wands. We also have the Mystic. The light attribute is revels in intimate union with the divine, and the shadow attribute is delusional rapport with the divine. Okay, so the biggest message coming through for me, pile 4, is that this person regrets having doubted that deep inner knowing within themselves. It feels like there was a time in which this person felt this like deep knowing, felt this inspiration, felt this like divine guidance, or like this soul level knowing within themselves about where this connection was headed or what this connection meant. And for whatever reason, they allowed doubt to creep up within them, and that doubt caused them to start being confused about what it is that they ought to prioritize, or what it is that they should be focusing on. It feels like when it came to listening to what it is that logic was telling them, or what it is that when it comes to them not listening to their heart, it's always led them to heartbreak. And there's this realization that they had a lot more power in the past than perhaps what they realized. They should have stood up for what it is that they wanted. They should have fought for what it is that they wanted. They should have made the decision of what it is that they wanted without doubting that they could achieve it. I want to get clarification on the 9 of Wands and Judgment. Why is the 9 of Wands and Judgment here? We have the Knight of Cups. I get the feeling that they regret having taken so long to allow this reunion to happen, to allow things to start back up again. There was delays, and they feel as though this has to do with them, with their own stubbornness, or with their own wounds that they felt as though they needed to really work on. They regret having taken so long to come forward, or to accept whatever offer it was that was being presented to them. Let's go ahead and get some channeled messages. This one's very clear and concise to me. I also get the feeling that if this person said harsh words in the past that were incredibly hurtful, that were deeply damaging, this is something that they acknowledge was not in alignment with their highest self. They're acknowledging that this was something that did nothing but cause hurt. What is it that they want to say? Okay, so big happy changes are coming when you least expect it. Interesting. What is it that they want to say to pile 4? We have fear. I want this so badly, but I'm afraid of getting hurt, so I self-sabotage. That to me is a message from the past. What is it that pile 4's person wants to say? We also had, I'm not ready to talk. I will only push you away. And no. And on the back of the deck, it says in the very near future. So I feel very strongly as though, especially because we had alchemical wedding, it feels like there may be a surprise, like an engagement of some kind in the very near future. These cards here seem to be more so cards or messages of the past or acknowledgement of the past. If you had a specific question in mind, like a yes or no question, this may very well be your answer if that's something that resonates for you. But it feels like this person is forward thinking, is really looking forward to the future, sees the potential happiness that this can bring. Let's go ahead and get you guys some advice. What advice is there for pile 4? We have strength. You are hereby declared a strong, resilient warrior of heroic proportions. Enjoy your battles, whatever they are, because you're guaranteed to come through them stronger, brighter, and more compassionate. And based on what I know of mythology, probably with great hair and a 6-pack. Oh my God, and we have engagement. So obviously I don't think that this advice is going to say get engaged, but I do think it's another sign that this might be something on the horizon, if that's something that sounds right to you. But this says, today I make the conscious choice to engage with the world in an active way. I'll take a new route and talk to strangers. I will smell flowers and pet dogs and maybe walk around barefoot for a while if I'm not inside a 7-Eleven. At the very least, I'll have a day that's slightly more interesting than average, and at the most, I'll have a startling epiphany or make a friend who will change my life forever. No pressure. It's beautiful. Well, this is what I'm seeing for you guys today, pile 4. Thank you so much for giving me this chance to read for you today, and I hope that I will have the opportunity to read for you in another video soon. Bye!